Something big happened with my last video. I said something that alerted the horde. The furry horde. It was not pretty, and it smelled awful. The Ruben Furry War of 2024 was the most chaotic week in this channel's history. It all started when a furry celebrity made a post claiming that my latest video had slandered him. This scathing accusation from the notorious cyber terrorist Ruben Sim would not be tolerated. Within minutes, my mentions were flooded with the stench of unwashed fursuits.
I heard you think all furries are zoophiles.
Ruben is so annoying. I hope Roblox does something about him.
You're stuck in an eternal echo chamber of hate and filth.
Every few seconds, a new furry hate tweet came in, and this went on for days. It even spilled into my YouTube comments until one furry posted this.
Unfortunately, you're in a small problem right now as I have the personal information of you and your relatives. That being said, I can pay someone a sum of money to have heavily armed police come knocking at the door of both you and your relatives. If you value the life of your relatives and associates, it would be ill-advised to go against what I have said.
I can't let this guy hurt my relatives. I'm a family guy. Okay, pause. This is actually my favorite part of today's video because this swatting thread against me and my relatives is brought to you by Aura. As we all know, data breaches are a huge issue these days, with personal information like phone numbers and addresses constantly ending up on websites enabling hackers, swatters, and furries to ruin your life. Like when AT&T revealed that nearly all their customers' call and text records had been exposed in a massive data breach. It hasn't even been a few months since they admitted over 70 million of their users' social security numbers ended up on the dark web. What's worse is that even if you don't use AT&T, if someone who texted you did, then your number has been exposed. With so much personal data floating around, it's crucial to protect yourself with Aura's comprehensive privacy tools. They alert you when your information appears on people search sites and guide you on how to remove it. Aura also provides fraud alerts to catch any misuse of your data, and has an AI-powered call assistant to block spam calls. On top of that, Aura offers features like transaction monitoring, a VPN for secure browsing, antivirus protection, and identity theft insurance, all in one convenient app. It's a practical way to manage the chaos that comes from having your information online. If you want to safeguard your personal information, check out Aura at aura.com/RubenSim for a free 14-day trial. Not only can you protect your data, but you'll also be supporting the channel. Links below. Anyways, back to the furry death threat. So I tweet a screenshot of this, and not even 60 seconds later, he deletes it. I think I said something like, furries are dangerous. And all these furries were in the replies like, that's not a furry. That's not a furry. And this is where Jersey Furry comes in. Some of you know this guy is Tap Wrench, the guy that made this game.
Big head, these are annoying. Arthro, no. Thick legs, you're annoying. Doge, get a new meme. Furry.
And he says, ugh, that isn't even a furry, Ruben. Are the furries in the room with us right now? 100 likes later, he's community noted. Apparently this is the Roblox avatar of the furry that threatened to kill both me and my relatives. The very next day, Tap Wrench made an announcement that 7 different Ruben Sim fans had messaged him disturbing stuff, including gore, CP, pictures of his house, and other personal stuff. Now, as we all know, every YouTuber is directly responsible for the actions of all of their fans, which is why I dedicated one entire hour of my life to tracking down these deranged Ruben Sim fans, all while being screamed at by thousands of furries.
Ruben, control your fans, man. Ruben and all of his fans need to be banned off the internet.
15 hours later, and the radio silence from Sim is crazy. Okay, this is crazy. The first clue was that these messages were sent at 6:08, 6:09, 6:10, and 6:11. Clearly, these Ruben Sim fans have coordinated to send these messages exactly 1 minute apart to maximize the spread of emotional damage. We must be dealing with experts. Meanwhile, Agent Schlepp was on the case. He messaged TapWrench for the identities of these 7 fans and was given an itemized list along with a full screenshot of the death threat. This was my first lead. I sent Mr. Zeno a message asking for the uncensored photo. This way, he thinks I'm on his side, planning something nasty at TapWrench's address. But for some reason, he had no idea what I was talking about. That's not me. I didn't message that guy. Are you sure he told you it was me? I told him to look up Jersey Furry in his DMs and screenshot what comes up. And wow, no results. Next on the list was Timmy Jimmers, who TapWrench accuses of sending him child porn. Not only had Timmy never messaged TapWrench, he had never messaged anyone. I was the first and only person he ever talked to in DMs. That's so sad. Someone go talk to this guy. Finally, Oliver confirmed with a screen recording that he had no messages with Jersey Furry. It is possible that they deleted their messages, and once messages are gone, they're gone for good. Even if you reopen a conversation, the old messages are permanently erased. The catch is, they only delete for you. The other person would still have a copy. So to prove that this is what these people did, all TapWrench would have to do is give a screen recording of one of his own copies of these messages. Except, oops! He deleted them all. They were just too yucky and scary to have in his DMs. TapWrench realized how stupid this sounded and messaged Parlo, another Roblox YouTuber. Parlo, I don't know what to do anymore. I think I'm making Schlepp feel like I'm faking all of this, but I'm not. He asked me for a screen recording of the DMs from one of the doxers. I was about to do it, but got greeted with this. Parlo, not knowing that deleting messages is permanent, tried to help him get them back, and eventually, by some miracle of God, okay, it worked. But now, the content got removed. I don't think TapWrench knows this, but I'm what you would call a Photoshop expert. I know all the tricks, I know all the techniques, and this is fake. First, deleted messages are unrecoverable, so it shouldn't even display this in the first place. Second, you can tell he's just pasted this conversation over his image from an hour ago. If you zoom in on the scroll bar, you can see that he cut it off right where the messages begin. And when he realized how bad it looked, he tried to brush it in, but he couldn't get his brush size right, so he just cut off the whole right half and called it quits. Also, his physical phone screen is somehow half an inch shorter than it was in his last fake screenshot. This was a really sloppy job. I almost want to say this was done on a phone, it's so bad. The photo itself can be found on Google if you reverse search the image. It's from a Reddit post 4 years ago. What I want to know is, why did TapWrench do this? What's his deal with Ruben Sim making fun of zoophiles and porn addicts? Well, as it turns out, there is a website called E621, the second most popular furry website ever. It's 100% kid-friendly, good, clean fun. Just kidding, it's a porn website, which TapWrench has an account on, along with a very horrifying collection of images with tags like feral and forced and Five Nights at Freddy's. Sorry, I meant had an account, because when news of this reached TapWrench, the account was mysteriously deleted. TapWrench's response was to deny owning this account. As he puts it, you would have to be a complete retard to use your public alias on a website. I agree. He claims that this must be a sussy imposter who's impersonating him over an unspecified drama from 11 months ago.
Okay, it's about time I started being honest with myself and honest with you guys as well. In the dead middle of last year, someone who was once a close friend of mine made a Google Slides document calling me out for having a porn addiction, which on this present day I have pretty much gotten over. This document was eventually reposted by a popular yet controversial Twitter user named Ruben Sim. And unfortunately, his audience and the whole Roblox Twitter community think that being a porn addict is the same thing as being a idol. Just know that I would never have any intentions of being one of those. I would never look out for children. I was doxxed, and I even had the local police show up to my house.
Notice how he doesn't call this a swatting. That's because this police visit was over TapWrench being caught in a group chat showing furry to kids. When they showed up to his house to question him, he simply said that he didn't know the Roblox group chat had minors in it. Honest mistake, really. In any case, the E621 account was made 4 years ago, way before any of this. Besides, this guy was pretty open about using E621. He followed an E621 tagbot account on Twitter, and he even appeared in one of my videos bragging about owning an E621 Roblox shirt. Look, here's another one. I literally own this right now. I like this guy. How to expose yourself. Why do you own this? What are you doing? This wasn't a joke. An archive of his Roblox inventory shows he even bought clothes referencing Bad Dragon, a company that sells zoophilia-themed adult toys. With all of this info coming out, the Tap Wrench arc began to conclude. A lot of the furries that came from his tweets to attack me even started to switch sides.
Oh shit, that's weird as fuck. I'll delete the tweet, sorry man.
Wait, is Ruben cooking for once?
Not gonna lie, I'm kinda on his side this time.
And with each new furry converted, the horde, once 40,000 strong, began to wane. But a new campaign was forming in the Ruben Furry War. The Ruben Sim Expose arc. This guy set the name on his account to Exposing Ruben Sim. Ruben Sim is not a guy you should trust for safety. He is not the savior. One of my most dedicated haters, who's been tweeting about me every few hours since last December, was posting banger after banger. This guy was straight cooking with the anti-Ruben tweets, racking up thousands of likes and followers. I usually ignore accounts like these, but this one was so dedicated, so passionate for his craft. He started to gain a fan base among this wave of angry furries. To give some backstory, this account was made about 6 months ago after I blocked someone who was obsessively replying to my posts. This user made 3 other accounts to block evade before settling on Ruben Sim Expose. One of my fans noticed all of the accounts shared details and spoke in the same way, using the exact same phrases around the same time. At the center was Captain Argo 24. The Argonauts are a Canadian football team from Toronto, which this guy is a huge fan of. He's also a developer, a programmer, a gamer, and a writer. That's right, he has his very own Go Animate Caillou Grounded series with several hours worth of runtime. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. This is when I realized Captain Argo was in the Runker Discord, so I told him to mic up. Hang on, can you give me like an example of the language that I use?
How you say I'm furries? Like I don't give a shit if you say things bad because it's I get because I'm.
After 5 seconds of listening to this man speak, everything clicked. The weird obsessions, the speech impediment, the 2 hours of Go Animate Caillou Grounded videos. It all makes sense now. I tried to be as accommodating as possible and had everyone mute themselves while we talked out our dispute. Eventually, we found a lot of common ground. Okay, hang on.
No, because I fucking stutter.
It's okay. I understand the issues that I have with the furry fandom.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like all that stuff.
Argo also insisted that he was not behind the Ruben Sim Expose account.
If you want to tell us to the person ones that Ruben Sim Exposed, go ahead, because I'm not involved with it.
Before we hung up, Argo even offered to add me as a friend. I'm gonna kick you from the server, but it's not because I have anything against you. I just don't want people here to harass you, okay?
Okay, thanks. Like if you want, I can talk to you some more if you add me on my on Discord or on block me on Twitter. I'm happy to like talk to you more sometime about.
Yeah, I'll send you a friend request. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming. He then sent me a 9-paragraph essay about furries or something. I don't know, I didn't read it. But the Ruben Sim Exposed account remained active, so I figured this probably wasn't the same guy. Until, a few months later, the account posted a screen recording where he accidentally shows his main account's profile picture. And it's Captain Argo. Even though I had proof, he refused to admit it was him. He started coming up with all these crazy conflicting stories. Like for example, he said it's not his profile picture, it's some other random Argo fan who has nothing to do with any of this. Then he went on the Expose account and claimed that one of their team members stole the video from Captain Argo, and that he was really sorry. At one point he even threatened to sue himself. It was a mess. He didn't want anyone to know who he was because he wants people to think that the account is ran by a team. It's likely he realizes how weird it is for one guy to obsess this hard over a Roblox YouTuber. But this would be the least of his worries when one of my viewers found another alias of his. They looked at his GitHub and found him using the name John Husky, the same name as one of his Twitter alts. Looking at Argo's Roblox profile, he could see a user on his friends list named FileHusky. This user only had Argo added and was only in one group, which was owned by Argo, meaning this was likely his alt account. He opened Twitter's password reset page, entered the exposed account's username, and when asked to confirm the email, he took a wild guess and typed filehusky@gmail.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And it gets so much worse. When I found this out, I looked up FileHusky and I found his Persona account. And let me tell you, the porn that this guy was publicly consuming, liking, following, was worse than anything I could have imagined. We're talking Lion King feral cub porn. As soon as I posted this, I swear to God, it was like the end of iRobot, where they kill the main computer and all the androids return to normal. Everyone stopped fighting and marveled at how this man's reputation went up in flames. I can't even count how many tweets I've seen from furries that were like, "Good going, you just proved him right." And instead of conceding, he still denied that he was Captain Argo. His explanation for the email was that his team members were named Fred, I swear to fucking God he really said this, Fred, Isaac, and Lee for LE, and they were working on a game about huskies, hence the name FileHusky. See, this isn't actually me. This is a team of people named Robert, Ulfric, Bob, and Enrique, and we're making a simulator. Of course, no one believed him, and so in a final desperate move, a swarm of bot accounts boosted him to a whopping 25,000 followers. We're so back. He started posting more certified bangers, even getting 5,000 likes. This is where Turkey Tom reached out to me for an interview. We were gonna do it that week, but I wanted Captain Argo himself to join us. So I pushed it to the following Tuesday. Here's how it went.
Nothing bad is gonna happen if you just admit that it's you. I mean, you had problems with Ruben in the past, you had some criticisms of him, I think some of them were, you know, justified. I feel like there's nothing wrong with it, with just saying, you know, it's your account. I mean, it's clearly your account, no?
You know what? I'm just gonna just do it off the back. I'm just gonna say it's mine, even though it's not. But I'm just saying it because it's right now it's just getting too annoying. Too for me. I do not want to be dealing with this like crap anymore.
But we know it's your account, and every time you lie to us, it just like this level of disrespect just increases every single time.
Again, that's not my account. I'm just gonna admit it just so it's off the thing, just so you guys can shut up about it, because I don't. So yeah, I want to be doing other things. I don't want to be dealing with this crap every 5 freaking minutes.
That's not an admission. It either is your account or it isn't. It doesn't matter whether or not you admit.
It's not my account. That's the thing. It's not my account.
But it is your account. It types the exact same way as you. It uses the exact same language, and it posted your screen recording, which you seem to flip-flop on as to whether or not it's actually yours.
No, they blocked me. I got a message from a friend.
When you say they, you're saying you blocked yourself on this account. I don't understand how you could sit here and expect us to believe you when it's just so obvious.
Oh man, it's me. You know, it was me. Just move on.
No, I know what you're doing, and you're trying to create plausible deniability for yourself. But we know it's you, dude. You don't have to play this like cheeky little game of, oh, it's not actually me, but I'll say it is, just so you guys shut up. Like, we know, dude. This went on for a while, and eventually Tom and I figured he's just not gonna crack. So I moved on and started to ask him why he was liking cub porn.
Yeah, that was an accident, because like, you know how when you're supposed to YouTube Shorts or whatever garbage now. You sometimes they double tap and then it likes for you. That's probably why. Because look at the rest of my account. I do not support that shit.
You don't double tap images to like them on Twitter. That doesn't work like that. You have to actually hit the like button, which is pretty small. And you're saying it also does like an animation. And you're saying
the extension I have on the extension, something that I have all likes for you, but Yeah.
Oh, it was an extension that auto likes tweets, and that's why you like the cup horn. So it wasn't you that liked it; it was the extension. What extension is it?
Oh wait, I forget. I delete a whole bunch of extensions on Chrome because it was crashing it. So
damn. Okay, I guess we'll just have to believe you on that.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I feel like that probably never would have gotten in your feed in the first place if you hadn't been following furry porn artists on Twitter. Yeah. Because there were a lot of them. And I don't know how you can tell me that you like quit looking at furry porn when you still had all that stuff in your feed.
That's the majority of what I wanted to go over. I guess the other thing I just want to communicate to you, Captain Argo, is I feel like there's no punishment for just admitting that the account is yours. I mean, there's just like, it's not even like a circumstantial thing. Like it's obvious the account is yours.
Yeah.
Did you say yeah?
Yeah, I was talking to my side. Like, yeah, I was say think I'm done with this. Like, crap, fine, it's my account. Don't try to cancel me, attack me over it.
Okay, so you admit it. So, and you're not just like trying to dance around it. It is you.
No, it just isn't. Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty. Why did you lie about owning the account, I guess, is my biggest question, because I feel like it wasn't that big of a deal to just say the truth, you know?
It just, I still didn't want to get attacked, or do want to be like, oh, you just another hater that when it's like no, the actual...
How do you think I feel when I have this random guy who I've never met before tweeting all the way since January, even at the most inappropriate times, just the most ridiculous criticism of me? Don't you think maybe I feel a little attacked by all of that?
Yeah, I think people feel who actually are really, where like if people have really done nothing. That's
look. I think the best case scenario for all of this would be if you were just go on the account, make a little post being like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry for everything. You know, I posted a lot of bullshit," and then if you just say that, then I think everybody will just walk their separate ways, and everyone will be happy in the end. You know?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Captain Argo, for the interview. Nice talking to you.
And with that, it was all over. Everything was right in the world again, except Tap Wrench wasn't finished. He was still grabbing the bars of his cage, violently shaking it, demanding people acknowledge how evil Ruben Sim is. He never admitted his screenshots were fake, but after being pressed so hard with so much pressure that he turned into a glistening gemstone, he confessed in private. Screenshots of this were immediately sent to me, which I tweeted, while pointing out that this could mean Tap Wrench sent himself CP, and said the forbidden Modern Warfare 2 lobby word. He responded by finally admitting that yes, the screenshots were fake, but there was no CP. The censored image was really a random kid singing the Skibbity Toilet song. Tap Wrench was developing a habit of arguing with my fans. He was spending every day posting about how Ruben fans did this, Ruben fans did that, and when people replied with criticism, he would get in these wars that would devolve into everyone making memes of him. This pissed him off so much, he finally snapped and said this.
Logan, if you think about trying to join one more time, I will literally pay 4 random guys off the street. I'll have them hunt you down, and I'll have them reenact the jump for
In case you don't know who this is, Tap Wrench is threatening to pay people to kidnap, rape, torture, and murder Logan, who's 17. This guy has fucking lost it. I felt like if I didn't step in, he was gonna hurt somebody. So I set up a Twitter space. At first, Tap Wrench was completely against the idea, but after Parlo offered to moderate, he reluctantly agreed. So this all started when you replied to the tweet that I had made where Matt Gamey, he made that death threat, and then you replied to that saying that he wasn't even a furry, and then you got community noted, and then you deleted your tweet, and then the next day is when you said that my fans had harassed you.
Yeah, so after I got community noted, that one person named Coolman Gond, or like you know that one guy?
Yeah, Olafur or whatever.
So he started bombing on me, and
when you say bombing, what do you mean?
Well, I'm guessing you all have noticed already. I'm the type that tends to frequently use a poor choice of words. Like
yeah. So he was trying to start arguments with you, basically.
Yeah, like we were going back and forth and stuff. I was repeatedly shaming him for how he supports neo-Nazism.
So he's an unashamed neo-Nazi.
Yes.
Did you feel like that justified you accusing him of sending you beef?
Well, the thing is, the reason why I did this, I wasn't trying to deplatform you. I was just trying to prove that the fan base that you're running is very dangerous. And
but the way that you tried to prove it was by lying, because he didn't send you beef.
Yeah, well, when I was faking the screenshots, I didn't really pick any particular users. It was only when I was being confronted by Schlep. That was the moment where I rambled.
And you went after more than just Olafur. There were 6 other people who had never contacted you before.
But the thing is, those 6 other people, they were also shaming me in my replies as well. Like
is that so bad though that they're arguing with you? You had posted that the guy wasn't a furry, which was wrong, and they were correcting you, and they were having an argument, and it sounds to me like you were replying to them and facilitating these arguments. Why do they not have a right to engage with you when you're engaging with them? People are going to disagree with you in life, and people are going to say things that you may not like, but that doesn't mean that you can just lie and accuse them of sending you death threats and child.
Yeah, well.
Is there anything you would like to say to those 7 people that you falsely accused?
Before I do, I just do want to mention that just like God, they all had like similar beliefs. Like, you know, the Timmy Jimmers guy, his profile picture was literally Adolf Hitler, the Roblox face. If you really want me to say, then yeah, I will admit that was fucked up. But like I said, I was just trying to prove that there's a lot of bad people in this community who are capable of doing all this illegal stuff, like doxing.
But couldn't the same be said about the furry community? There's a lot of bad people in the furry community, but I'm not like faking screenshots of messages from furries. I guess what I'm stuck on here is you keep using the word prove. You keep saying, I wanted to prove that your fans are bad people, but if it's fake, then that's not proof. And if anything, it makes people less likely to appreciate what you're trying to say, because you're lying to everyone.
Can I just add as well, it got picked up by Blueforth, and this caused pretty much irreparable damage on Ruben Sim's reputation, Twitter-wise.
I think your tweet got like 18,000 likes. And all of these furries were harassing me, saying like, oh, your fans dox people, your fans have CP. And I think that while trying to prove that my fan base was bad, you ended up doing the opposite. And you proved to people that furries will lie about this type of stuff.
Well, what I was about to say was...
You're okay, dude. Take your time. You can collect your thoughts if you need to.
I know you've said that you can't really control every single thing that your fans do, and
I have told people that I don't condone harassment. I think when the furry drama was going on, I made a specific tweet where I was like, as someone who gets these threats all of the time, I don't support them, and I don't ask my fans to do this.
I thought it was the opposite, because throughout this whole thing, I only saw you make only one tweet saying that you don't condone this stuff.
Do you feel like I could have done more?
Well,
like, what else am I supposed to do? There's a lot of people out there who aren't even my fans who will just harass people because they think it's funny. But listen, I know this might be uncomfortable for you to do given how much you disagree with these people, but would you consider apologizing to the 7 users that you accused of sending you stuff?
Yeah, I just apologize. Like, I just didn't, I don't know what I was thinking. Like when Schlep was asking for the 7 users, I just scrambled up through my replies, checking. I just wasn't thinking ahead. I didn't know it would escalate to all of this.
There's something else I wanted to ask. You have been denying that the E621 account was yours. Are you comfortable with talking about that?
Well, I've already mentioned it in multiple tweets that I know that it's not smart to use a public alias for a private
porn website.
Yeah, exactly. They still believe that account's mine.
So you're still saying that the account is not yours.
Yeah, because I actually deleted my actual one after shortly finding out that the creator of E621 is actually a zoophile himself. I had no idea. until one of your followers pointed it out to me.
How do you explain the username?
I guess someone must have took it when the drama like first broke out then. But
the account was made in 2020, but way before any drama
about
surfaced.
that. But I've clarified multiple times that website actually does allow you to change your username whenever you want and however many times you want.
Okay. So you're saying that this is an imposter who created an account in 2020, who is liking and favoriting over the years content that you yourself are very familiar with, like Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm guessing they must be like a loyal follower of me or something. Like, it's been stuff that I've been talking about ever since I was barely even popular.
Okay, hang on. Everybody listening, if you believe Joe, I want you to give a thumbs up. And if you don't believe him, I want you to give a thumbs down. It's lagging. It's lagging my computer right now.
Yeah, nobody believes me. Whatever. Okay.
I want you to scroll through and I want you to look at people's responses right now. Joe, if you tell the truth about this, it will make absolutely no difference. My browser is about to crash. If you tell the truth, this will change nothing. The only difference will be that people will appreciate that you're being honest with them. But if you continue to lie, all it's going to tell people is that you're a liar and that you're not capable of telling the truth. So can we be honest? I really don't want to waste your time here. The account is yours. You can just admit it.
Jersey, you good?
And you have every right to be embarrassed. We understand, you know, if you feel like that doesn't represent who you are, then you can tell us. I mean, you deleted the account as soon as people found out about it. So obviously it's not something that you're proud of. But you have to at least be honest with us and tell us that the account is yours. Because right now, all I'm hearing is that you're refusing to tell the truth.
Okay, so first I want to mention that posts on that website are tend to update their tags and stuff, and that website also does have the ability to allow you to view blacklisted tags as such. But yeah, that account was mine.
Okay, thank you.
It showed that one of the tags was lolly. I have a feeling I know which one that is. And from what I could recall, the only reason why I liked it, like, you could barely even tell that character was a minor. Like,
can I suggest something to you?
Yeah.
None of this would happen if you were not gripped by porn addiction. And I know that this is something you're familiar with because you've talked about it on TikTok. But this habit of yours is ruining your life. And at some point you have to stop and look in the mirror and realize that you need to regain control over yourself and stop consuming porn. Think about like all of the time that you've spent on that website or just looking at porn in general, and think of all of the things that are more productive that you could have spent that time on. Think about like where you could be in life, all of the skills that you could have picked up, all of that time that you could have spent socializing with people, you know, working out, learning. It's all wasted when you spend it on porn. And then you end up with huge controversies like this one. So I think the real lesson to be learned here is that porn is very self-destructive, and it's a vice in the same way that drugs and alcohol and gambling are. I guess what I want to know is, are you capable of holding yourself accountable and quitting porn? Like straight cold turkey quit porn? Because I think that would solve 99% of the problems that you have right now.
Yeah, like Logan, he told me like nearly a year ago that was completely destroying me, and I didn't even bother listening. I'm going to my Patreon right now. I'm literally about to unsubscribe from all the creators.
That's good. That would be a good first step. And then I would go through Twitter and I would unfollow all of the creators on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think that's about everything. So thank you everyone for coming. Please do not harass.
And to everyone, I know I'm not expecting forgiveness, but what I am expecting is just understanding. That's all I gotta say.
All right, I'm going to close the space. I really thank you for manning up and joining and telling the truth. It's over. The war has ended. 2 of my biggest haters have been cured, and the furries have made peace with my fans once more. I guess the moral of the story is, no matter how far you go down the wrong path, it's never too late to turn back. So what was it that started all of this? Where the fuck did all of these people come from? All of these furries were mad at me because I pointed out the scientific fact that their fan base is very sexual. My last video brought up a 2013 research study done by furries on themselves, which found that 95% of them consume furry porn. One of the main points of criticism was that the study was too old and the sample size of 433 was too small. To reinforce this idea, furries like to point out that their subreddit has 390,000 members. Here's my counterpoint. The subreddit for furry porn has 90,000 more members than the subreddit for furries. The results from the study I showed were replicated in a more recent study from 2019 done by PhD psychologists. There's no disputing that this is a heavily fetishized fan base. So to illustrate this idea, I made an iceberg where the top 5% represent the normal furries and the rest is the rest of them. Underneath the rest of them, you have the zoophiles. I called this the Vouch zone because Vouch was outed as an auto-zoophile. But I did make a mistake, and in keeping with the moral of this video, I would like to apologize. This collage in the center was supposed to be furries that have sexual histories with the fan base, but to be honest, I don't know that many furries, so at one point I just googled protogen and grabbed a result that appeared to be a generic fursona, not realizing that this was a real person who goes by the name Generic Purple Protogen. I also included Sappho in this layer, forgetting that he's a confessed zoophile. And really, this just makes the whole layer look like the zoophile layer. The zoophile layer is supposed to be the Vouch zone. This layer is the anthropomorphozoophile layer, which is very different from zoophilia, apparently. I think the worst part is that one of these furries had died like 10 years ago. I actually felt really bad when I found that out, and I blurred out his picture with the YouTube editor. So I would like to extend a humble apology to the anthropomorphozoophiles who are placed next to a full-blown zoophile. I'll move him to the Vouch zone. Oh, this guy's a zoophile too. And instead, you can be next to the convicted child molester. There we go. All is right again. I don't expect forgiveness, but I do expect understanding. In all honesty, I don't have a problem with furries in general. If you want to wear costumes and look at weird porn, you're totally within your rights to do so. I think most people would agree with me that this really only becomes a problem when it's injected in the spaces where it doesn't belong, like on Roblox, or in schools, or the fucking military. It's inappropriate. It's like walking around with a shirt that says, "I heart furry porn." Anyways, that's the show. That's the end of World War Furry. Like and subscribe for World War Furry 2.